it's all in love. Love, la 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 la, love, love, la 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 la, love, love, la 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 la, love, love, love. And if it's just tonight, well, it's all in love. And if it's just tonight, well, it's all in love. When all the stars come out, that's when you hear the sound echo from all around. Sing La Luna. And if your heart's aglow, wondering if it will show, why don't you let him know? Sing La Luna. And if it's just tonight, well, it's all in love. And if you're cheek to cheek, dancing out in the street, and he sweeps you off your feet, sing La Luna. And when you're far away, dreaming of yesterday, Roma comes back again, just sing La Luna.
Hey everybody, it's Hannah. It is Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. Pacific time here in Los Angeles. A little sad today. It's one stream before my last stream, which is going to be next week, since we're not going to have any more live stream on Behance as of December 16th. So I'm just trying to do some stuff to make myself happy and make everybody else happy. So what I'm going to do today, we're going to work on the Parametrics filters in Adobe Photoshop Beta. So if I crash, it's because it is still beta, so it's a little slow with the parametric filters, but I kind of thought it'll be fun to look into it at the moment. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do next week. I'm probably going to do something maybe in Illustrator, maybe InDesign, maybe we'll talk to you a little bit about general information. And I think we're going to have a community stream on December 16 with Daniel. That's going to host a lot of the live streamers as kind of like the last hooray for the streamers. We're still gonna have Adobe Live. You're still gonna see some videos on Behance, and I'm gonna let you all know where I'm going to continue streaming, probably YouTube, or I have to find some other places, but I'm probably gonna fix a little bit my YouTube channel and continue live streaming out there. So without any other things, I'm going to see who's here today and see that I have, and I see Barbara is here. Yeah, it is our last one before the last one. I don't know if it's the right English, the last one before the last one, but next week it is my last live stream on Behance, because it is going to be discontinued unless they're going to make another decision in the future. At the moment, it's not going to be live streamers anymore on Behance like before. So we're gonna have to do some other stuff to just show our talent and our creativity in other channels. So with that said, I'm going to go and share my screen. And it is sad because I've been doing it for over 4 years. It started as live streaming as educators and continues to be in regular one. And actually, we liked it. We liked it, all the educators, because we had kind of a place to tell stories, also to kind of educate and not just do some stuff, just kind of educate people and do regular things and show different kind of things. So it was kind of nice, and also I got to know a lot of you guys in the community and a lot of kind of followers. It was just kind of nice, and I feel like it's the end of an era at the moment. So what I'm going to do today, I'm going to look at the parametric filters. So I prepared some files already just to look at it. It's not something that I can tell you I've been doing it for so many years, and let me show you what I'm doing. It is new filters. They're still on beta, so they still didn't get into the regular area of Photoshop. If you want to have the public beta, simply go to your Creative Cloud, and once you go into your Creative Cloud, you can download, you can look at the beta apps over here, and basically go in and install your Adobe Photoshop beta. They're changing it every few weeks. They're giving you some information, and you can start kind of playing with the new tools that you have there. Again, it's not part of Photoshop 2025 yet, but hopefully in the future it's going to get into it, and they're still checking it. So you'll see me not crushing all the time, but you'll see sometimes they're gonna ask you, do you like it, or just give them kind of like a feedback if you want. So with that said, what I'm going to do right now, I can start from something that I have already, but I can go in and continue and go into my generate image. You can see all the way down in my contextual panel over here, which is right now all the way down. I'm going to move it up for a minute. I can also go back here and pin it for this position, so it's going to stay there the whole time. And then I can import an image, but I also can generate image. If I don't like to work with that, of course I can go to my toolbar, and all the way down you see this icon that says generate image. So over here I can actually generate an image by writing a prompt, or I can go in for the inspiration over here. So since what I'm going to do now is going to be something that it's based on the filters, I am not going to even do any prompt at the moment. I'm just going to click on something, and it says photorealistic swirl ponds, wave warping around lily pad flowers, weaving into an abstract gold pattern. Okay, why not? I'm just going to go in here and look at what I'm going to get right now. And it is generating it, and this is what I get right now. So I didn't really get what I saw, but I'm getting something else. Of course, that was for inspiration. And I can go back here to the reference style image to see if I have any reference. I can also go back here and bring a style reference, also a composition reference if I want. I'm not going to do anything right now. I'm just going to go back here, and then I'm going to turn off the strange, and then I'm going to go to the material, and I'm going to do fabric. Why not? So I'm going to get the same idea. Actually, I like this image. I can take one of the flowers and take it out and do something with it. And this is actually what I like to do with generative AI, not to use the entire thing, but go into some of it and then just play with it. So let's say I'm going to go to this image. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go to my filter menu bar. And then you can see here I have parametric filters. And this is what I get here. This is the parametric filters. And then when you're looking at your layers panel, this is what I get right now. I have the layers panel over here. And as soon as I'm going to go in and click on any of the filters, you'll see what happened. And the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to click on the black and white filter, just on purpose, because I really wanted you to see what's going on over here. I didn't have to duplicate my layer. I didn't have to create a smart object. Automatically, the Parametric filters will go in and create for you an extra smart filter. So they're going to duplicate it. And what you're going to see right now is the Parametric filters as one area. And then you see the parametric properties for each filter that you have. And then what's really important is to go into the properties and always go in and see if there's something else in there, because you're going to get a very, very small window over here and you're going to think this is what it is, but it's not, because look at this here. I have more stuff, and I can say technical parameters, and then look at this, I have more stuff. Again, once you start kind of exploring it, there's a lot of sets to change based on the filter that you're going to choose. But I'm going to go for the first area all the way up, and look what I have over here. I have the word resolution here, and I'm clicking on it. I can use it as a draft, medium, high, and ultra. So really it is depending what kind of computer you have. At the moment, I'm working on the computer which has a big setup here with two huge screens. Unfortunately, it's still Intel. It's not M1, M2, M3, or M4. So it's a little slower than the others. So I'm kind of being more conservative here when I'm playing with the stuff over here. So I might go in, stay with medium, or I might even go into draft. But I want you to see the difference right now, because as soon as I go to medium, you see a little bit more detail, and of course later if you go to ultra. So in this case today, I might go to ultra maybe in the end, or maybe not even, or maybe in the last file that I have, I'm going to go in because I don't want it to be so slow. So look what you have over here. First of all, this is the default setting. You have smooth, high contrast, smooth, and negative. And then look at that. So I don't like this one so much. I'm going to go to smooth. Maybe not. I'm going to go smooth, high contrast. And I'm going to go to the default that I just got. And then I can go and randomize it. So when you start randomizing it, you get different kind of number of seeds, which I can't really explain exactly, but it will randomize the results that you have. You have over here the dial for the texture, and then you can go in and say negative if you wanted it. Play a little bit with the brightness if you want. And then if you want to go back here, you can scale it. You can do the offset of it, depending how you want to go and see the stuff. And all the way down, you can start playing with luminosity and with the contrast over here. But I'm just going to go back here and leave it as is, because maybe now I'm going to go to my layers, and now I'm just going to play with it with a regular Photoshop. So I might go into darken, multiply, lighten, overlay, and look at that. I have a different kind of result right now with that I have the parametric filter on it. I also can double click on the lines in between to the filter, to the blending options, and all the way here I can go in, let's say, to lighten, and you can see the filter is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to go to overlay. You see it's a little bit different over here. So you can get the blending mode for the filter itself and the blending mode reading it on top of another image that you have. Of course, if I'm going to turn off the original and go back, I have to go back to normal, and now you can see on and off, and you see the parametric filter. It works like a smart filter, as soon as you start working with it. So now you're going to ask me, well, I have the black and white. You ended up going and doing some blending mode. Do I want to do something else to it? So if I want to add another filter on top of it, I will hold down the Option or Alt key and let's say click on maybe the color. And now you can see all the way here in my layers panel, it says another parametric filters with a certain color. Unfortunately, it doesn't say the word color. I wish it says parametric filters color, so I know right away which filter I'm having here, but at least I know it's part of the parametric filters. So now what I can do, I'm going to go all the way up. I'm going to leave it in medium. I'm going to go and leave it in medium, but I can go in and choose a color. I can choose a color from the image, or I can choose a color directly from the color wheel over here, and then you can see here it looks a little bit different. I can go back here to a darker color and you can see something a little bit different here, and then I can double click in between and see if I go in and create a different look while going with some kind of blending mode between the two filters that I have. The other things that I have here is like working with regular filters. I can go in here to the mask. So the filters gives you a lot of options to create some fun stuff, but you're still in Photoshop. So you still take your ability to create something different. So I'm going to go to the mask, and then I'm just going to create some kind of a gradient. So you can see over here my gradient. If I hold down the Option or Alt key, I can see my mask. So whenever it's black, I'm kind of concealing or blocking what's underneath. Goes directly to the original filter. Then I have transition. Then I have white, which reveal everything that I have. I can go into the other side, and now you can see the top one is the original filter, and the bottom one, it's what I did to the filter itself. So this one, I looked at black and white and colors, and now I'm going to go in and create something different. So I can go into this image, or I can go into another abstract image. No, I might go in to this image that I just have here, and then I'm just going to go back here and not have it as a filter over here. And now I'm going to go to a new filter. This one just showed up. I started playing with it today, and let's say I kind of wanted to take this image that looks like with gold and everything. First of all, I can go into the image and change it, right? So I can go into a different image right now, and then I can go to the new filter called embroidery. And I just started playing with it. So stays with me for a minute and let's investigate it. How many times we get like sometime a question or request for somebody, can you paint something and I want you to look like a rug? And I'm thinking, should I start stitching some stuff? Should I find a filter for it? Look at that. I just have kind of a rug over here because it called it embroidery, and that's why I got so excited when I saw it. And I said, well, I'm gonna go today and play a little bit with the parametric filters because this is so awesome. So what do I have? I'll stay with medium. I have the default preset that stays over here. I can go in and randomize it. And I can randomize it again, and you can see each time it will change a little bit. If I feel like adding some stuff right now, I can click on the plus sign, and then it's going to be a new preset, and I'm going to go in and call it maybe rug 1. And then I say create, and that's going to be here the rug 1 for me in case. But then I'm going to go in and randomize it again, and now I'm going to look at the angle, and then what kind of angle I want to go and get for my rug over here. Kind of cool. Look at this. Look at the stitches and everything, and then numbers of colors. You have up to 8 colors right now. I can go in and say 4 colors, and it is going to look a little bit different, but I'm actually going to go back to the 8 colors. Now I'm going to go to the density. So it's going to show you how dense going to be the threads. So depending how I'm going to go in, and the embroidery style. And that's where I got super excited, because sometimes you want to do, let's say you have information, and if you're working for marketing and you want to show somebody different t-shirts and then maybe different kind of symbols on the t-shirt, and you want to get the symbol and make the symbol look like it's embroidered into it. So this is going to make it a lot of fun and a lot easier to work. So I'm going to go in and fill outline, and top stitch. And again, I just started to work with it, so I don't even know the result for everything that I have. And if I wanted to go and save the preset, I can go in and save my preset and get another preset over here, and then I'm going to go and call that, let's say, rug 2. So you can see over here I have rug 1, and I have rug 2, and I have the default also. I can also go in and see fill and outline, see how that looks. I can go to the outline, see if I like that. And then I can go and see how kind of tight it's going to be, but that's not the end over here. I'm going to go all the way here and look what I have. I have the thread, how the thread is going to work here. It's going to be more or it's going to be less. So look at this one. This is really a thin stitch over here that gives it really a different kind of feeling. And I see Oni Paul is here. Good morning. Good morning to you, and it's good evening for us, and almost good night for Barbara, because she's 2 hours after, so it's 8:50 for her, it is 6:50 for me. And where are you signing in from, Paul? Let us know, because it's morning, so somewhere in the Middle East or in Asia or somewhere else from there. And then, yes, so nice to see here. So, and what we're doing here, we are playing with the parametric filters right now. So look at that. I actually playing with it while you're watching, because I'm so excited that we have it here. And this is the thickness of the thread. And I'm going to make it a little bit more right now. And again, each time I can create something a little bit different. And look at that. It is maybe not so much. I'm going to imperfections. I'm going to change that, and I don't want it to be so thick over here, but not so thin as well. What else do I have? Custom color. So I can go back here and I can add another color to it. So now you can see here I got some kind of green to the area that I have. I can also get another custom color over here, and maybe I want to have some dark red, and then maybe all the way I can do another. So since I have 8 colors, I can go all the way down here and create different colors over here. How cool is that? This is kind of like one of the coolest filters. I can stay here and play with it forever and ever and play with everything. So each time I'm looking, I'm going to go in. I don't want to have the green, and look at this. I added some red to it. And then in the custom color over here, still gray, I'm going to add some blue to it as well. So look what I'm getting right now. Absolutely something that looks completely different from the stuff that I had. I can go over here to my properties, and I can go in and say rug 3. And then click create, and look what I have over here. I have the default, so I didn't miss anything. I can still randomize it again. I can still go into the outline and play with it a little bit different. And I still have all my other preset that I played it with it, and then I can go in and work with it. So what do you guys think? Is it cool or what? Or just me getting so excited from that? Because think about it, especially for logos, if you go into a certain logo and you want to show that it's embroidered, you can actually figure out how to do that and put it on top of a shirt for position only and show somebody, I have this logo and I'm embroidering it. So this is so much fun to play, and in general filters are so much fun to play. So we have this one. If I wanted to create another one on top of it, I can, but you don't have to. I'm going to go back here. Let's say I'm going to go to rag 1, and maybe I like that. So once I have it over here, I can always go back here, double click on the filters in the layers, and then I'm going to decide that I want to make it in an overlay mode. And look what you start seeing right now. I want to see it in multiply mode so you can see the image and stitching into it. I can also go in and play a little bit with my opacity. And if that's not enough, of course, I can go to my mask and create that. So I call it sometimes hiding your filter. Like create a filter, use it, but when the end result is, I'm going to say, did you know what filter I use right now? No, you don't know that I use the embroidered filter because I did something else with it. So this is something kind of fun to start looking at it, and like Barbara, you said, like fun to play and see the result that you're getting. So now let's look at some other filters. So I just went to Adobe Stock. I took some images from before. Let's say I wanted to create something, but I want to do it just to the background. So I might go into my object selection, and I'm going to select just the girl here. It is okay that it's not a perfect selection. Actually, it's not that okay because I can see that her arm is not selected. So I can go to select and mask over here, and then if I see that, I can see that I don't have her arm. So now I do have, and I'm going to go into a regular brush tool, make it a little bit bigger, and then I'm just going to go in and add to it her arm over here. And then if I'm working with a Wacom tablet, I can add that really fast. If I don't want to work with the Wacom tablet, I can just go back here, and it's not going to be as easy, but look what I'm doing. I'm adding the stuff over here. I'm going to go in and take away stuff that I don't want. Maybe I don't want this area over here on the side. I'm just going to add some stuff, but I might go over here and I'm going to show it on as a marching ant over here. So once I saw it as a marching ant, I actually can go to my object selection tool, and I can hold down the shift key and add to the selection, and add her arm to the selection. Hopefully it's going to do. I'm kind of too lazy to go in and draw on it, so I might go back here to the polygonal lasso tool, and then I'm just gonna go in and kind of like pretend that this is her arm over here, and I'm going to go back here and add that, and then I'm going to take away some areas. So it's not going to be the perfect selection right now, but what I want to show you is I can go into this area. I don't want to go, I don't need that. I always say I don't mind, and then I'm going to go in and take it away, and then I'm just going to go back and look at it on top of overlay. Not bad. Okay, let's say we have her over here, and that's okay. So now I'm just going to go in and make it into a selection, and in this case what I want to do is I want to select an inverse. So I'm just going to do something just to the background right now. So now I'm just going to click on the distort filter. So I clicked on the distort filter, and look what I'm getting right now. And why did I get it only on the background here? Because I have a mask. And then I have a mask over here, and then it's just relating to the background. You can see over here, that's her, and this is the background. So now I can go in and change some stuff in the distortion. I can go and change the direction. I can do different kind of stuff here. I'm gonna go to the intensity, but also it's depending is this is the filter that you really want to go in and play with. So not all the filters I kind of like, not all the filters are going to go and do something, but basically you can go back here and add another one. So let's say I'm going to go to add the glass filter. I'm going to hold on the option key and click on the glass filter on top of that. And this one is my glass filter. So it is on the background, and I'm going to play with the intensity of that. And I can still go in, and in between, I can go to different kind of colors. So I can go to overlay. I can also go into the intensity of the different colors that I have. And if I don't want the one from before, look what you're getting now. You're getting the other area below that, because that's going to be basically the filter that started from the beginning, and this is the second one. If I want to go and put something else on it, I can, or I can leave it like this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hold down the Command or Control key. I'm going to load the selection. I'm going to go to select and inverse, Command Shift I or Control Shift I if you're going in. And now I can go in and hold on the option key and click on a different kind of color over here. So now you can see that it is going to go in, and actually it didn't do it right now the way I wanted it, but it did it directly to my other background that I have. But I might go in and duplicate that. I might go back here to this area, and then I'm going to go back here, load the selection, turn off that, and now I want to go in and create a new one over here. And look at that, I have another filter over here just on the girl. This is the filter with the background on top, and now I have another one just to the girl as a selection. And then I have this color. So right now it is cyan. I'm going to go back here and choose another color, maybe even a gold color, to see if she looks a little bit different. Or I might go in and let's give her some kind of orangey look. So you can see she's kind of like sepia over here. Of course, I see her over here without the couch that I had before. And I can start, hold on the option key and clicking on another one. Look at distortion over here. Maybe I don't want that. That doesn't mean, some stuff doesn't do anything. So and then I can go in and do duotone on it, and depending how you're going to work with it. But I'm just going to go in here and zoom in to another image. In this one, I'm just going to go in and click on duotone. And then this is what I have over here. And then the image itself, I'm going to go image and mode. It is grayscale. So I'm going to change that to RGB. And then it is going to go and rasterize it. And now I'm going to go to duotone. So what did I do over here? I had an image that I thought it's black and white. But it is black and white, but it was grayscale. So when you have grayscale, you cannot add colors to it. But if you take the grayscale and tell it to be RGB mode, then you can start having the colors in it. So what I can do now, I can go to the blending mode. Let's say I'm going to go to a color mode. I can go into a difference mode. I can go to lighten, overlay. Look at the stuff that I can go in there. And these are the two colors that I have over here. Then use background color in transparent area. And that was the background color, but I'm going to go back here and add that. But if I don't want the immediate one, I can go in here and change the duotone. Doesn't really look so great. I'm going to go in, and now you can see it a little bit better. I'm going to make the purple a little darker, so I get a little bit more transition between them. So now I'm going to go into my Option key and click on Emboss. So this is what I get in the Emboss over here. Like I said before, not all the time you are going to go in and get exactly what you want. And this is telling you how it is, the distance between them, and then it is going to go and do different kind of things, and then this is the transformation that I get the stuff. Not crazy about that. So I'm not doing that. I'm going back to the original one, and I'm going to click to halftone. So this is something that you can do a lot to create some halftone to your image. And then when you go in, you randomize the seeds over here. You can go to the size of the dots. This is really can be cool if you're doing something like comic stuff and you want to go and show it almost like the pop art era. So Roy Lichtenstein or something like this, and then you can go in and start colorizing the dots if you want, and just start playing with it. So I'm going to go back here, and you can see the size, but I might go in and have just stripes over here, and then look at the sizes of them. So almost it's going to look like a drawing maybe. I'm going to leave it as dots over here. And the color of the dots, so I'm going to do red, and I'm going to go and make yellow. So look at that right now, it is red and yellow, and of course if I go back here I can start playing with overlay, and you can start kind of duplicating it and start kind of offsetting it a little bit and playing a little bit with the stuff to get different kind of colors. Let me just go in and make it turquoise, and look what I'm getting now. I'm going to go and do the contrast between them so you can get something a little bit different. You can go and make it brighter or not brighter, not too much. You can also scale it, and then you can start working with the offsets all the way down here, and then go in and play with rotation. So really what I have here, I have the halftones that I play with. I have some other stuff that I can play with. So I'm just going to go in, and each time we're going to go to a different kind of image. I have another one that's called hologram. Again, like I said, I didn't use all of them, but you can start playing with them and say, when do we need to use it for something? You don't need to use it on the entire image. You can use it on a layer, on a selection, on a partial detail of something. Gives you more advantage about the idea that you have. You have the tint color over here. I'm going to change the tint color to another color, and you can see I have it gray. What I really would love to see in the future, while I'm changing the tint color, I would like to see a preview like I have that when I do color overlays. I don't see it yet here, but like I said before, it is new and they're working on it, and of course they are going to appreciate your comments to tell them if you want to play with it in a different way. So you can always send them a note and say I like it. But look at that, that could be something. If I do something about video, and you know sometimes you want to have an image and it kind of looks like the video is not working and all kind of aliens are coming and things are not straight, that could be a nice effect to be there. And then the grain intensity, do you want it more grainy, less grainy over here? And then you can do a preset, and over here they do have a preset. So sometimes they will have a preset. Damage projector. Whoa, I love that. And then stripes highlight. That's also cool. and then ghost effect. Woo, that's really looking cool. So you can go, and this image has kind of a ghosty effect to it anyway. So all what you need to do is, after using that, basically you need to go into the area inside, and then in generative fill you can say ghosts and ghost and I don't know, just ghosts. And then I'm gonna go in, and maybe I'll have like a ghost looking through the mirror over here, so I can see if I get something over here. So you can use some stuff, but then, whoa, look at that. So now I have it here, and look what I have over here. So I have the ghost over here, I have another ghost over there. This is really cool. I really like that. All of a sudden I had an image that was super simple. I took it from Adobe stock, and now it looks a little bit different, so I can start adding all kind of ghosts to it and all kind of stuff to it, and then I can go back here and create some stuff. And then you can see I have this one over here because I duplicated it, and I can have another mirror over here or another mirror seeing over there. So you can see I have different kind of perspective, and look at that, I have different kind of ideas. So this one has the same, and this one has another, and then I have the parametric filters, so I can turn them on and off. So the good thing here, it is actually non-destructive. You can go back here and start double clicking and have that. So what do you guys think? Isn't it fun? I think it's fun. I don't know. I'm having a good time. I don't know what you guys are having. I am having a good time right now. I'm just playing and thinking, what else can I do to make it look a little bit different? And then make sure, wow, I do like that. I do like this one. And then I'm going to go into another one. So what others? I have hologram and another hologram. I also have oil paint. So I'm going to go back here, and this one has some kind of oil paint. I do have the oil paint filter in the filter gallery. I mean, it's not the filter gallery, actually. It is under filter, and I think it's stylized, and I have oil paint. But this one is a different kind, and then you can go and randomize it a little bit, and then you can see the effects, and then the details that you have over here, and then you can see the strokes, the XY strokes that you have, and then you can see mid-tone strokes as well, and then you can go and scale it. And let's see if I can have more stuff to do over here. So that's kind of nice, not perfect, but actually it's a lot better than the regular oil paint, because on top of that I can start playing with other stuff and bring some other colors. So I can even go into my gradient overlay and click on different kind of gradients. Always work with overlay, never do a destructive one, because then you'll be able to go back here and play with it. I'm going to hold on the Option or Alt key and then clip it into it, and then I'm just going to go in and do multiply or color burn, and look at that. I have an abstract over here of an oil paint from an image that I took from a wall somewhere, like kind of graffiti, and I can start elaborating on it. And then, yes, it's, Barbara said, it's a great way to play and do some other stuff. So, of course, I can try to do another one on top of it. And then it's going to do one on top of each other. So you see I have another one just on top of it, which I don't want, but I'm going to leave this one here, which is really cool. I'm just going to go back here to this one. I wasn't crazy about to start with, but I can go back here and click on pattern. So when I go in and click on, I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to click on pattern, and this is what I'm getting. So is it something that you want to go and work with? I don't know. I mean, like I said before, but this one I actually like a little bit, what you just saw. because it just created some kind of a jazzy look and the size of something here. And then if I double click and go to my blending mode, I all of a sudden see the lines on top of the girl. So start thinking Photoshop when you're playing with these filters. Play with what they give you, kind of investigate. The truth is, I don't understand everything that I read there. Is it the vertical offset? Is the position? How much of the seed is, the mask and everything? But I understand my skills in Photoshop, and then I can go in and do some stuff with it. So you can see over here, I can change it a little bit, and now all of a sudden she has some kind of textures on top of that, and I can go and randomize some stuff. And each time I'm doing something, I'm just gonna, ooh, look at this, random rotation. So almost like a shattered stuff. You can see almost like a shattered glass or things like this. And you can just go in and play with it. I'm just gonna go into the scratch. Love looking at the scratch over here. So I'm gonna click on it. Each time it will go in and duplicate. So look at this one. How cool is this one? It looks like scratches that I have over here. I'm going to go to the paper. I want the paper to be kind of not white. You can see it a little bit different. How much it's burnt over here. So you can see that. How much are the scratches. More scratches and less. How much damage you want to see over here. Kind of liked it actually with kind of lighter scratches. So it looks a little bit more. And then I even can go in and transform it. And you can build another one and another one on top of it. So like I said before, not everything you're gonna like. I highly recommend to go in between and see which one you like more than the other. Let's say I'm going to go through the abstract over here. I might bring another image. And now I'm going to go in and click on the rain filter. So I'm gonna go in and look at that. I have some rain, so you can make your own, but this is the angle of the rain. This is the rain, how much the intensity. This is the strength. Is it dark or is it light? Do you have highlights over here? Do you want to transform it? And you want to change the rain a little bit different over here. And of course you can go and randomize it. So I can play with that. And some of them has dense rain. So some of them already going to have some stuff like preset, medium rain and light rain. So the light rain I barely see over here, but I'm going to go into the medium rain and see that. When I have that, I'm going to hold on the Option key and click on the snow. So again, this is kind of looking like it is snow. And once again, I can see what kind of have a snowstorm. And I'm pretty sure they're going to add some more. If you use Substance, you can go in and start creating the filters that you have. But that's going to be not something that I'm going to talk about it right now. But people are building it over there and bring it over here. And you can also create your own. So slow snow over here. So once I have it here, I'm going to double click between the two of them and see if I can go in. And I have in overlay, you can see here between the stuff. And then I can go back here and click OK. And click on different kind of blending mode. So now you have the original below, and this one is kind of like on the top. It's always good to go in and play with your Photoshop skills while you're working with that. And just to remind you, I still have the one on the top. I still have these little guys over here. So you can see here some of the stuff that I had from before, they're still there. If I turn it off over here, so you can see some of the parametric filters from before. The thing that I don't really like yet, I would like to see the name of the filters that I'm using. all the way there in my layers panel and not guess to see which one I use, because I might not remember. I'm going to go to File and Open, and then I'm going to open, let's say, another image. And this is a simple image that I have over here. And now I'm going to go in and click on the sticker. So this is something that maybe a lot of people don't like or like. I can randomize the sticker. I can go back here, slightly warped square. And then I can see I have hard damage circle. Ooh, I don't like that at all. And then they have even a dirty star. And then if I go back here, that could be like a sticker that you send somebody. Can you do something like that with masking? Absolutely. But this gives you a lot of ideas how to work with it. You can scale the sticker, make it a lot smaller, and then put it somewhere else. You can go in the XY position that I have. I have a background there, so I don't want to see that. So I might double click on the background and give it a different color, so it's not going to look so weird. And then I have sticker filter over here, and then you can go back here and see how you can damage it and everything. So look at the sticker right now. Doesn't look so cool, but this is something that you can use on one of your images. So hey Adosh Sharma, nice to see you. Hello, hello, hello. Let us know where you're signing in from. I am in Los Angeles and it is almost 7:30 p.m. and we have other friends here that from different places in the country here or outside of the country. And for some people it's evening, and some people it's after evening, and for some people it's actually morning. So let us know where you are signing in from. What we're doing is we're looking at the parametric filters. So do I have something else here? I can go in and let's say I'm just going to go and play with pixelate. So I don't really have a use for that unless you want to show somebody a pixelation of stuff and then go and say I have low pixels, I can medium pixels, and I can have high pixels. So if I have, let's say, the low pixels over here, and then I'm double clicking on it and maybe going to an overlay, you can see that you have some kind of boxes on top of the image. So it gives it a different kind of look. It's all really depending where are you going with your images and what do you want to achieve. So really the filters, it's not something that I can tell you use it like this. Just you got to be creative and use your imagination and your creativity to play with it, and not be afraid to try and say, well, I don't like it, or maybe I don't like this filter, but maybe somebody else would like that. And then on top of that, yes, I can go to another filter over here. So maybe I can go to a neural filter, or maybe I can go to a filter gallery and go and do stuff. So I can start accumulating the filters that I have. Let's say which one we did not look at, because we didn't look at all of them, but most of them. I'm going to go again to this background, and I'm going to this one that says severely filter. So it's going to create that and put it as a sphere. I'm thinking about Wicked and Dorothy and the Wicked Witch of the West. Maybe you can put it there and looks like a bubble. So you can start having stuff that will give you the illusion that I'm working with tiny little bubbles in there and inflating it in a different way. So that could be, depending what you're doing, you can really create something that will take you longer without these filters. And then you can go in and scale the XY coordinate. And of course you have a small flip. And you have tile 2. So it's different tiles. And let me see how it's going to look. So if you tile it and turn off the one here, I can actually go back here and then go in and bring it over here. And now if it's going to another area, I can go and do it as an overlay or dissolve or even a lighten mode, and you can see that you can have a collage with that. And I can go back here and look at this. Now it's on the regular black and white, and you can see some kind of a balloon. But I can go double click over here and I can still change the stuff because I dragged and dropped it and I brought the default here, and now you can see these little balloons and the image goes into it. So really, I know I'm repeating myself today. I'm excited, but kind of want you to take the filters the way they are and take it to another place. And this is what I usually tell people when they start using Photoshop or Illustrator or InDesign or Premiere or After Effects. The tools are there, but you can do with them something else. So you don't have to listen to the tools all the time. You can be the creator, you can be the designer. The tools are there, but you want to start creating. So that's why I don't even care, and I don't think that AI is hurting us. I think AI is kind of like giving me more creativity and kind of give me ideas of what to do and how to create, because once I have that, I can have more images and I can start playing with that. So that's kind of like my speech for today about using filter and being creative. A lot of time you can tell yourself, I want to use that, and not tell anybody that I use filters. So it's going to look like this, the way you're going to work with it. I'm going to go back here, and let's say I'm going to go to this image here. And I can open more images, but this one is the original image that I have here. I don't have any filter on it. And now I'm going to go and click on symmetry. So this one, I'm not crazy about it, depending what are you going to do with it. I usually create my own little symmetry with the brushes or bring some symmetry directly from Illustrator. But I want to tell you, look at this. They have different kind of preset. Kind of cool, actually. I'm changing my mind. Look at this one right now. Wow, this is looking kind of cool. Really cool, and I'll tell you what I'm going to do from it. Wow, I like it, I like it, I like it. I can actually go in and load the selection to it. And then I'm going to go into Edit, Define Brush Preset. And I'm going to call it Fine Brush with Texture. And I'm not using it yet, but I'm going to continue playing with it a little bit. So this is the bottom over here, but this one is your mandala that you just did. So I'm going to go in and change it. Mirror, a different, not crazy about that. Different kind of mirror over here. Another mirror and another mirror reverse. So you can do stuff with it. I really like the one I looked at and the one that was mandala. And I created kind of like a brush from it. So what am I going to do with it right now? And I love the way it looks. And then I can do the angle. So I can do another brush over here or another brush. Whatever I'm going to do. Ooh, I like that. Whoa, this is really cool. I can go in and select some stuff there and make from it a certain brush. I can go and transform it a little bit. And each time you're doing something, you can go back and forth and change the stuff, and it's blended or colored. So look at this one. That could be great to put it on top of another image and do something with that. But let's look at what I wanted to do with it right now. So I'm going to open another layer, and I'm going to fill the layer with white. And I'm going to add another layer right now. So now I'm going to my brush, and I'm going to make it a lot smaller. So I'm clicking on my left and right brackets to make the brush smaller. And now I'm going to go to my workspace to look for my brushes. So I'm going to go to Window, and I'm looking at my brush setting over here. And this is the size. I mean, I went in and I made it a little smaller. That's okay. And then I can go into dynamic shape over here and then decide that I'm going to go and scatter it a little bit. I can go back here and play with the jitter with different sizes. And I can also do some spacing over here. And what you're going to get, look at this. This is the brush that I just got over here. So the brush is basically kind of black and white, because that's what the brushes in Photoshop are doing. They are not giving you the right color. They are based on the foreground and the background color that I have. But I can go to my foreground color and make it red, and then background color and make it orangey. And then I can go to my color dynamic. And now when I go in and play with it, and I'm going to go from foreground to background. So look at that. Once I start playing with it, I'm going to go in and get some stuff that looks like that. So what can I do with it? I can do for it a necklace. I can do for it a tiara. I can do for it kind of like nice backgrounds. But where did I start? I started with the filters, and then I created from it a brush. And then of course I can go select all, and I can deselect it and then make it a little bit bigger. And this is what I got right now. So this is basically the colors that I have over here. It's just red, and it has all the details that I have for my original image. It's not gonna do the original the way I was cutting it, because the brushes in Photoshop are like stamps, so they don't have. And then if I go back here, I can play with the drop shadow if I want. Oh, I don't like the drop shadow, but I can do bevel and emboss. I can even add texture to it. And look what I'm getting over here. I'm getting like a nice effect for a certain kind of an image, and I created that from the filters that I have. And now I'm going to go to the Parametric filters again, and then maybe I can go in and click on it. And what did I click on? One of my new favorites, which is the embroidery. So I'm going to go in. I have rag 1 and rag 2 and rag 2, so it's going to change that. And then I even have rag 3 over here, and look what I'm getting now. So now this is a patch to put somewhere, and maybe like a little coaster or little things, something that you need to visualize for different kind of project. You can even take some merchandise and make that and cut them and make a brush or something else, and go back to your Parametric filters and start kind of like playing with it. And if I go into the default, it's going to give me the default that I have. And then I can of course go into the style, and then I'm going to do fill and outline over here, and then I'm just going to go and make it a lot smaller, and really looking like a rug over here all of a sudden. I mean, you can even do that to clothing if you have. So if you have like somebody is wearing some kind of a fleece jacket and you wanted it to look like that has a thread to it, think about doing the ugly sweaters for Christmas and all kind of colorizing them. That's another good thing that you can do with it. So think about the ideas, what you can play with. I think I'm going to see what you guys think over here. I'm looking at the chat to see if you guys are talking to each other, and or maybe just listening to me. And then what I kind of wanted to see, what do you think about these filters, because that was the idea. So you can see I have a lot of kind of information over here. And then I'm going to go back here and look at this. I'm going to go in and clip this one into it. And what do I have here? I have here a gradient. And then I can go into a different gradient and put it differently. And look what I have here. Everything is non-destructive. Everything is something new that you can work with, and then kind of like go in and boost your creativity. So just start playing with it. Don't be afraid. Just start looking at it. And even if you don't understand everything, like I don't, I'm just going to go into the filter. I'm going to look at the filter and I say, okay, they want me to randomize it. Okay, I'm randomizing it. You don't want to have the other one. Look at this. I have it looking kind of cool. And now I can start playing with it. So with that said, I think I'm done for the day. Just looking what we did over here. We did one over here. We worked it around. We had another one that we did a filter with kind of like shape of balloons that you have over here. You have one that I added creativity with generative fill to it. And basically, if you're going into the Parametric filter, they might actually add some more. At the moment, this is what we have. In the flyout menu, they're going to talk to you about what it is. Restore the default filter, show parametric properties, show feedback with that. So you can go in and show that, and it tells you what it is. So it is kind of like support, and then it's still in beta. It's version 0.2.0, so they're still working with it. And then if you feel like giving them a feedback over here, you can go back here and say, do you like it, you don't like it, submit idea, and then just go from there and then tell them what you think about it. Review it, show the stuff, and then basically play with the stuff that you have. So with that said, I think I'm done for today. I am going to see you next week. Yes, Barbara. I'm going to see you all next week, same time at 6:30. We're going to go and kind of like talk, play, look at some software, kind of like it's going to be the last one. And I think the 16th, we have a group of people that we are being hosted by Daniel from Behance. Is also a freelancer like me, is also a streamer like me, and then he invited all of us to join him for one day to, like, he calls it the hurrah day, the day that we are going to say goodbye. And who knows, maybe we'll be back, and I'm pretty sure I'll be back on YouTube after the holidays, and I'm gonna let you guys know. So stay tuned, be in touch, and I'll see you guys next week. Have a wonderful evening.